Okay, so next we will move on to the another important aspect of your product mix, which is the branding. So we are still in the first P of marketing, which is the product. And of course, we have discussed various aspects, which includes product lines, product width, product depth, product development, product life cycle. So another essential component of the first P of marketing is branding. Now, some of us think that brand is just a logo, but it's not the case. Brand is not just a logo. I mean, you might say that the logo is actually the brand, but it's not a mere logo. It signifies a certain value that you have to convey to the customer, and definitely your brand logo also helps the customer in identifying the product, right? And emotionally, I would say a brand is also a promise, right? A promise which a customer is being delivered by the marketer. So there are a lot of hidden elements attached to a brand, even though the definition might say that a brand represents a logo or a hallmark or a certain type of text which helps the customer to identify your product. Yeah, all these are true elements, but there are a lot of intangible elements attached to a logo. Now, when you examine some of the definitions of a brand or branding, and especially look at the example given, I mean, look at the definition given by the American Marketing Association. American Marketing Association, they have defined brand in the following manner. So there is to say, according to them, according to American Marketing Association, brand is a name or a design or a symbol or any other feature that identifies one's seller's product or a service as distinct from those of other sellers. And what Philip Kotler says is also more or less the same aspect. So he also says brand is a name or a sign or a symbol or a combination of all these elements that identifies the maker or seller of the product. So all these definitions, including the one which is put up on your slide, is indicating that brand is an identity of the marketer that allows consumers or customers to recognize the maker of the product, right? On the other hand, we also say, okay, trademark. So remember, trademark is a legal term for a brand name, right? So once you register your brand identity, it becomes a trademark. So you have to go through the process of registration so that nobody else copies or uses your brand name. In fact, companies not just trademark their brand name, but they also sometimes trademark the design of the entire package, design of the entire cover, even the color, right? So a lot of aspects are important. Otherwise, competitors, especially in a country like India, where you have a lot of people who are illiterates, so for illiterates, they always recognize the color, the label, the design through which they identify the product. So in order to ensure that there's no duplication, it's important that you register your not just your brand name but also the product and packaging design also. But anyways, we will speak more about packaging little later. That's the next topic which is coming up. But we would rather focus on brand name now. So brand, as I mentioned, from all the definition we can identify one common factor that brand is associated with the identity, right? Now, how you want to how you want your identity to be, that is called brand positioning, right? How you want your customer to recognize your brand as, that is in the hands of marketer itself. So if you want customer to identify your brand as a value brand, your brand as a prestige brand, luxury brand, premium brand, or I would say affordable brand, right? It all depends because each brand would have positioned itself in your mind in a certain way, right? So if I ask you what's the difference between Apple and Xiaomi, it becomes quite easy for you to distinct or differentiate these two brands because there is a clear positioning in your mind which the marketers have done. Apple has positioned itself in the customer's mind as a distinct premium and quality phone maker or a phone manufacturer or a seller, right? So when we think of Apple, we think about two important qualities or attributes. One is that it's a premium brand, it's a luxury brand. Second, it's an innovative brand which always offers exciting technology. So this is how Apple has positioned itself in the market. That is called brand positioning. Likewise, when we say Xiaomi, how has Xiaomi positioned itself in the market? So Xiaomi has positioned itself as a value brand, which means a brand which offers exciting features at an affordable price, right? So each brand has some sort of a positioning, some sort of a clear distinction which it tries to make, and customers perceive that differentiation. Customer perceive that understanding of the brand value. So that is called brand positioning. It is not just applicable with brands, even individuals. I mean, sure, you all have certain uh, positioning of the teachers who are teaching you. You have certain attributes related to teachers' personalities, right? You have, I'm not sure, I think probably 6 teachers who are teaching you, or more than that in this semester. And you know, each teacher has a different positioning in your mind. So you know which teacher is positioned in what way. So when you think of me or somebody else, you know, there are certain attributes which you have actually locked in your mind. So that is what positioning is all about. How you are identifying your seller. So how is the identity? So you all have established different identities about different teachers who are teaching you. So it's the same way in the brand also. Each brand has a certain attributes, and based on those attributes, the positioning is done. So all of you have actually saved those attributes in your mind, and that's how you position it as. So if I ask you what's the difference between wheel, which is your detergent and uh, detergent powder and cake, and how would you differentiate wheel with surf? I'm sure you have distinct brand identity about these two products in your mind. So you're in a position to easily make out the differences between these two products. So there is some sort of positioning when you compare these two products. So that's what brand positioning is all about. Brand positioning is how a marketer wants his brands to be recognized by the customer as. And that recognition is called identity. And that is what branding is all about. It's about creating an identity of yours in the minds of the customers. Right? So I hope you're very clear with the concept of brand now.